Johnny here for Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. So today what we're going to be covering is building an XLT Maverick. So there's going to be all sorts of general Maverick information, and I'm going to run you through the build and price of the Maverick XLT. How would I build it? Why is the XLT the model that I would pick? So I'm going to explain all that, all its standard features, and which features I recommend you add on and why, and which options to absolutely avoid the type of problems that have existed with Bronco reservations. So I've been covering the Bronco for quite a while now. I've covered allotments, how to get your Bronco sooner, and I've got all sorts of Bronco experience to bring to the Maverick because, yes, simply put, certain options have a strong chance of getting your Maverick held up. Now, there's one major one that I have in black and white on paper. I'm going to be talking to you about that one, and it's unfortunate because it's actually an option. Well, I'll break the surprise. It's the moonroof, which is an incredible price, but it's definitely going to get you as of now, your build later, because it's now, as of about a week or two ago, it got added to a list, and it's the only thing currently on the list that gets your Maverick held back. So they'll be building other Mavericks instead ahead of yours, no matter when your reservation timestamp is. So I'm going to be covering all that. I'm going to be covering what to avoid. It's going to be based on experience, and of course, I do have access to my local dealership, so I'm pretty in the know and I'm pretty on the ball. I get this information as soon as it's made public to, well, not public, but private to the dealers, so they know what to recommend and not recommend to clients if they read their emails. And this is an important point in the whole ordering your Maverick process. You're going to want to pick out your dealership. Now, I think if you ask Bronco people who are in the know, they'll tell you how important picking out your dealership is. But let me just quickly, before getting into the build and price, quickly explain why it's important to pick out the right dealership. So the right dealership, there's going to be some telltale signs. They're going to know what allotment you are for your Maverick when you order the Maverick with them. So how it works is each dealership gets promised a certain amount of Mavericks for the 2022 production year. And what this means is that, if they're going to get 40 Mavericks, and they happen to be already at 55, well, when you ask them, they should be able to tell you, well, you're number 55 out of 40 Mavericks. Right off, you're not getting your Maverick this year. And this is a possibility that's creeping up on us because there are already more than 80,000 Maverick reservations. Now, how many of those will turn into orders? Probably the majority, like the Bronco. And you got to hurry in, and this is why I want to help you build. I've already done a build of an XL. Now today we're going to be doing a build of an XLT, and it's so important that, for me, it's important to help you out to know which is the right Maverick, because really, if you plan on waiting for these Mavericks to be in the yard at a dealership so you can test drive it, put your hands on one, really see what it is, that's going to be quite a ways away, because Ford, with all the reservations they're getting, are obviously going to have a lot of orders. And those orders very soon probably are going to be more numerous than the number that they can build in a year. And even if it's not, it's going to mean that dealerships are only going to get inventory much further into 2022, and I'd actually expect them to only have inventory of Mavericks in 2023, other than the rare reservation order that doesn't get picked up by the customer for whatever reason. So here's why it's important to pick out your dealer. You want to find a dealer that, first of all, is going to put it on paper that they're not going to sell you your Maverick once it comes in over MSRP, because there are really good dealers out there that, of course, will not sell you a Maverick over MSRP, and they'll give you whatever advantageous interest rate is available or promo rebate. So that's what a good dealer does. Also, a good dealer is going to know, like I said earlier, they're going to know where you are on their allotment list. Like my local dealer, we put in an order for Marie-Pierre's Maverick because, as promised, if this channel gets to 2,000 subscribers before Marie-Pierre's plug-in Escape gets in, she promised, she put a bet down with me saying, if the channel gets to 2,000 subscribers, she's going to take that Maverick that we've put into the order system. So we've ordered it, and the local dealer was able to tell me that I was roughly number 8. From recollection, they're getting 4 Mavericks built for October, 4 for September. I'm figuring another 4 for October if they have the same amount of allotments for the month of October. Now, what this would mean is that Marie-Pierre's Maverick is going to be built either end of October, because she's the 8th one, or very early November, if ever that dealership, my local dealership, only gets 3 allotments or builds for the month of October. So we're definitely hoping to get this before winter, because currently I have to watch her every day drive off with my 2018 Mustang. So that hurts a little bit because I'm driving the 94, but a good dealership isn't going to sell you over MSRP. And when you put your order in with them, get that on paper. Ask for a purchase offer to be printed off. That way you have it on paper, what price they're selling it for, and that's worst case scenario, because that's based on the deal that is going on that Ford is offering, the promotion this month or the month that you order. So very important. Get that on paper, and it's a worst case scenario because if the deal is better the month it comes in, well, go on the same build and price website that I'm going to be walking you through in this video, and make sure you get that month's promotions if they're better than when you ordered. Also, good dealers will pay you for your patience. So in the case of the Bronco, I'll show you some swag that they gave me. I have an awesome Bronco bag, and I'm pretty psyched about that. That's the type of thing a good dealer will do. They'll say, you know, thanks for waiting, and here's some cool stuff to put a smile on your face. So avoid the dealers trying to sell over MSRP, and at your local dealer, when you do order your Maverick, really simply put, make sure you walk away with an offer in hand. Otherwise, you know, if all they say is, yeah, we're ordering you your Maverick, we'll call you when it comes in. Well, that type of dealer that gives you absolutely no info and no promise kind of sounds like they might try to sell the vehicle over MSRP, which, you know, these things are happening because the demand is higher than the supply. We've seen that with the Bronco, and I really do expect that with the Maverick. So now let's jump right into the build and price. I want to help you be able to order your Maverick. By the end of this video, you should be able to, you know, jump online and either reserve your Maverick online, or just, you know, first opening day at your local dealership, go in, ask the right questions, which we just finished covering. What allotment are you at? And also ask them, you know, if I order right now, what allotment number does that put me at? And how many do you expect to get for the year? You know, will I get one this year? And you can also ask them about how many per month that they get. Well, it's pretty simple. If they have 120 allotments for the year, well, they're going to be getting about 10 per month. And I say about 10 per month because some months they'll have more built than others. It fluctuates. But at the end of the year, it's 120. So if they're only at, you know, number 40, well, you can know that you'll probably be about the 4th or 5th month into production for builds. So let's jump right in, pedal to the metal, and get this build on. Okay, so let's build this 2022 Maverick XLT. First of all, the starting price when you get on the website, which you can see just right beside me, kind of ignore that starting price because that's without the destination charges that are, you know, almost $2,000, whether you're Canada or US side. 2,000 Canadian side, about 1,500 US side. So on the US Ford.com website, we've got $22,280. Canadian side, that'd be about $25,500 from recollection. Now, your first choice, are you going with the 2.5 liter hybrid engine or 2 liter EcoBoost engine? Well, you don't have to pick it off right away, but if you do, because you're definitely convinced that you want the 2 liter turbo, you can see right off that that's jumping up the price by about a little, you know, $1,000 and a few dust bunnies to follow. So basically $1,000, I think it's $1,095 for an exact calculation, but that's what the 2 liter turbo is gonna cost you if you get that 2 liter turbo in front wheel drive. Now, I think most people that are opting for the 2 liter turbo is because they want the all wheel drive. So, you know, don't waste your time on the build site trying to build yourself a 2.5 liter hybrid that's all-wheel drive. It currently doesn't exist. And really quickly, I'll mention why, and that's because Ford is now making the electric motor that goes along with the 2.5 liter hybrid engine setup, the overall setup. Well, that electric motor is now being built in-house It's 20 pounds lighter, uses less copper, and is actually more durable. It can withstand it can withstand more. So it's stronger, tougher. It's good that they've brought it in-house. That way they're not, they don't have to worry about a third party not providing them enough electric motors. So, just to think of a few issues going on with the Bronco, but that electric motor is going to be built in-house, and currently with the new setup of that electric motor, it doesn't currently pair to an all-wheel drive system. So we'll have to wait for that. It can be done. It does require some modifications. They don't appear to be major. And there'll also need to be some modifications to the rear suspension. That's independent suspension on the Maverick in the back and the front. So I expect this thing to go over bumps amazingly. Now, I've had many pre-2015 Mustangs, that's live axle Mustangs, and I've actually had a lot of pickups, and of course that's a solid axle in the back. So with solid axle on the back of a vehicle, like many trucks, it tends to skip around if you're on a washboard road or just, any really bumpy road, or if you're in a corner and you hit some bumps, that back end is gonna skip around. Now with the independent suspension in the back, you're gonna get a lot of comfort. And usually what this means is you're not gonna get very much payload. A few examples of independent suspension trucks on the market, you look at the Ram 1500, and the Classic Edition has a payload when you're looking at a 4-door of about 1,350 pounds. Now all Mavericks, all 2022 Mavericks have a payload of 1,500 pounds. That means the overall total weight you can add to the vehicle is 1,500 pounds. This is incredible. You won't be disappointed with this. Now, can you get, you would never put 1,500 pounds just in the box, because it's the total amount of weight that the vehicle is rated to have added to it. So that includes the driver, passenger, and whatever animals, kids you might have in the back. So you've got 1,500 pounds, you've got a price of $22,280 plus 1,500 once you add destination and the destination charges. But let's jump right in. Let's start by building a 2.5 liter hybrid engine. And I think for a lot of people that are saying this absolutely has to be all-wheel drive. Now, if you live in an area with dirt roads that basically half the year are either covered in what is essentially ice because of the compacted snow, then I can definitely agree. But if you're living in any city center, I think the front wheel drive will do great. And the reason for that, the front wheel drive is an intelligent front wheel drive system. Just simply put, what I can say is that the onboard computer in the Maverick is going to be able to generate a different percentage of power to each wheel up to about 16 times per second. So the result is that the vehicle controls the power going to those front wheels at such a rapid speed that it kind of auto-corrects. And it doesn't kind of auto-correct, it absolutely does correct itself. So if you're driving through a snowstorm with this vehicle, those front wheels are going to work the power to the two front wheels, and occasionally also a little bit of braking to keep you in a straight line, meaning in a snowstorm, you can actually drive with your cruise control on. And I've actually done that with Mustangs. I've done 3 winters in Mustangs, and because of the modern advanced track system on Fords, I got through going up, and I live in a mountainous area. I've got a lot of highway to go up. I've got about 4 to 5 kilometers, or about 2 to 3 miles of uphill on highway, and I've driven through 2 inches of snow going up that hill, then down a hill, and in the next morning in a snowstorm, I did the same thing with the Mustang. So a front wheel drive Maverick isn't gonna be, a useless truck. It'll get the job done, as long as you're not doing a lot of miles on dirt roads that aren't salted. In which case, you probably need that all-wheel drive system for that low-speed traction. If ever you're going through, if you're living on dirt roads, they often don't get plowed very often, and you'll probably be dealing with, 3, 4, 5 inches of snow, in which case, get some amazing snow tires and get the all-wheel drive. So, colors. We've got the standard Shadow Black. Of course, Ford never charges for that. We have Oxford White, which is pretty easy to keep clean. Shows the rust more if you're living in a salty area. You've got Alto Blue. That blue is really sharp. It's $390 though. Area 51, which I think is a great color. Some people are trying to, assign sex to these colors, and I wouldn't say that it's any less or more masculine of a color. I think the Area 51 is really sharp. You've got Cactus Gray, which is pretty cool. We have those on the Broncos. I did a video and a review of a Cactus Gray Bronco Sport. I thought the color looked great. Mary Pierre thought the color looked great. We both liked it. You have carbonized gray. So those grays are going to be the colors requiring the least amount of maintenance. You're not going to have to worry that often about washing the vehicle. It's generally always going to look clean. Now, Cyber Orange. Ford wants to pay $495 to have, they're calling it Cyber Orange, but it kind of parked beside a school bus, looks a lot like school bus color. So if you like the color of a school bus, jump right on that, and it's a well-spent $495. But if you don't want to have a color that almost looks like a school bus, avoid that color. You got Hot Pepper Red at $390. I think this is a really sharp color, looks great on the Maverick, but of course, looks, beauty, it's all subjective. It's all in the eyes of the beholder, or in this case, of the payer. You've got Iconic Silver, very low maintenance. Scratches do not show on grays nearly as much as darker colors. So silver is the color that, if you think you're gonna get this thing scratched up, that's the color for you, or white, of course. And finally, you have Velocity Blue, my personal favorite. Okay, so why pick an XLT over an XL? Well, I did a video saying, don't be duped with the XL, don't be fooled. And the big thing is on the XL, you cannot add cruise control. Some say you can add it after the fact. I'd say good luck getting an added cruise control system that's gonna be reliable and last the life of the vehicle. So what are you getting with an XLT standard? You're getting a painted gray grille bar. You're getting power exterior side view mirrors. So power exterior side view mirrors is pretty important to some people. So just keep that in mind. You're getting, of course, like I mentioned, cruise control. And here's a big one. You're getting 17-inch painted aluminum wheels. So if you don't like the rims that are on the XL and you're going to be buying mags anyways, consider it. It's already on the XLT. The price difference of about $2,500 isn't that huge once you consider the cruise control and the mags. I personally think the mags look amazing. I asked Mary Pierre because I wanted a female perspective on it. She also thinks the mags look amazing, and we couldn't find anything in the aftermarket anyways that we liked more. You're also getting, keep in mind, a navy, pierre, and medium slate interior with orange accents. Now, some people are hating those orange accents. I think it looks great. Helps the truck look a little modern, and it flashes it up. We'll see some interior pictures so you can make your own personal call on this. And some people also aren't liking the navy pierre color. I like it a lot more than the just ordinary black XL interior, but hey, like I've said before, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, so you get to pick. You're also getting a power tailgate lock. What this means, power tailgate, means on your key fob, when you lock the doors to the truck, it's also going to lock the tailgate. So that is a relief, because on the XL, you really got to stick the key in and lock it. And you got to remember to do that, and you're living in an area that you have to think about theft and whatnot. That's going to get old real quick. And finally, you have what they're calling the flex bed with rear cubby storage and 10 tie downs. So essentially, your bed on the Maverick on an XLT is just easier to live with. Whether obviously, if you're getting this truck to actually move around, garden supplies, renovations, and water sports, which is that's everything that Mary Pierre and I would use this truck for, instead of putting it into the back of an Escape and worrying about scratching everything up. You just throw it in the back of your Maverick. Now, a little tidbit of information. I think this is very helpful information. Don't order from factory the plastic bed liner. Plastic bed liner is probably going to cause you some delays. Just get it at the parts department when your Maverick gets in, or even better, go with the luxury package so you can have the spray-in bed liner. And there are no issues currently with spray-in bed liners. That will not hold up your Maverick production at the moment. So let's carry on and look at some of the other options that could hold you back on your Maverick, but which options are really worth it. Okay, so One of the big options people are going to be contemplating, obviously, is the Copilot 360. What exactly does that give you? Well, that gives you what they're calling bliss with cross traffic alert. So what this means is your side view mirrors have a little light that light up if someone is in your blind spot. But what's more is that cross traffic alert is neat. When you're backing up, if there's a vehicle coming down the road, you're going to get an alert, and you're going to know not to continue backing up and get your back end of your Maverick all smashed up. And if this does get smashed up, because it's unibody, basically anytime anyone hits you in the side above 30 miles per hour or 40 miles per hour, and definitely anything over 40 miles per hour, your vehicle's scrapped. Why? Because as a unibody, if the impact just touches basically the floor, what you could call the floorboards, or really the bottom of the platform, well, it's going to bend it, crack it, and they've got to scrap it. So fast way to get rid of your vehicle. So it's great that it has cross traffic alert. Keep that in mind. There's also the full size spare included with the hybrid at no charge. Keep in mind that the full size spare you can add as a little option later on for next to nothing. And finally, there's the lane keeping system. Now, the lane keeping aid does not keep you in the center of the lane. All it does is that if you start to go outside of the lines, the vehicle is going to bring you back in and vibrate the steering wheel. Now, and it's alert. Now you can remove the alert. You can even remove that it tries to bring you back. All in the options, and you can actually turn both of them off. So you get to basically choose how that lane keeping system functions, how it interacts with you. But after a while, I can tell you, you get used to it, and you just get used to turning on your blinker. Because basically, if you do try to change lanes without your blinker, the vehicle is going to react. But if your blinker is on, it's not going to react, and you do get used to it. You learn how to not drive like a typical BMW driver, and you just get used to the whole system. So it's a good, safe system, and it's only $540. So dirt cheap. And if I'm not mistaken, and I'd love the comments section to chime in if I'm wrong, but I believe when you do take the Copilot 360, you are going to get heated exterior mirrors on the outside. But I'd love if anyone has the definitive answer for that to add it into the comments section. Now let's just carry on, put the pedal to the metal, and get to the next section of this video. So now let's talk about the XLT luxury package. It's $2,345. Not bad at all. I think a very good value. And I think when Ford is allotting, you could say, equipment or options to the vehicle, if you've picked this, you might get built before someone who's just picked one of the things out of this and added it onto their base XLT. So let's just go quickly through what this list has. You get the 8-way power driver seat. So you get an electric seat for the driver and a 6-way manual passenger seat. Furthermore, you get a 400-watt inverter for the cab and bed, including the cubby cover with USB console for the rear. So people in the back have that USB plug that can be pretty useful. If you don't have kids, or you're not going to have adults sitting back there very often, then who cares? But let's continue the list. You're also getting bed tie-down locking rails with 2 locking brackets. I'm not sure quite yet how I'd be using that one. So chime in the comment section if any of you already know exactly how you're going to be using those locking rails. But let's continue on. You're getting the spray-in bed liner. So I think if ever there is a shortage of Line-X or spray-in bed liner, like there was for the F-150s and Super Duties, we went almost 2 months with no spray-in bed liner earlier this year. And of course, that's all to do with what's been going on in the world in regards to the whole health issue. If ever there is a reduction of it, I think Ford's going to put it into the XLT luxury package, as opposed to someone who just took, let's say, a base XL and added the option of spray-in bed liner. And I think this package at $2,345 is well worth it when you consider everything that it gives you, because if you're going to be buying these as options on the side, it's going to end up costing close to this anyways. So let's continue. You're also getting your heated mirror with body color skull caps. Heated mirrors are great if you're living in an area that receives, ice storms or just, bad snowstorms. Of course, Once again, the full-size spare, which costs next to nothing, and it's no charge anyways on the hybrid, but if you're looking at a 2-liter and you want the full-size spare, well, it comes with the luxury package. Furthermore, you get heated seats. This is going to be a big one for pretty much anyone living in northern-ish areas. Anyone who's facing winter, that's a huge one. It's great. So heated seats, heated wiper. You're also getting the key fob with remote, so that's cool. You got your key fob. So key fob with remote start. Now, of course, this is the sync system. You don't need to have the remote start on the key fob because you have it with your phone through Ford Pass if you do have an intelligent phone. Continuing on, you get the leather wrapped heated steering wheel. So that's really cool. That feels great. And personally, I think a leather wrapped steering wheel, they're always a little thicker. They always have a better feel to it. So I think that just makes daily driving just, tiny little difference, but when you add up all the little differences, they make a big difference altogether. Now you're also going to be getting LED box lighting like you do on the F-150 XLT 302s, which it's not necessary. You can obviously live without it, but it's just a nice little touch. They're trying to give you a little extra reason to buy this, and you're also going to be getting the trailer hitch with 4-pin connector that you would have spent a couple $100s on adding to your Maverick anyway. So $2,345 for all that. So with the XLT, there's only one choice of mag, one choice of tire. So we just got to live with it. We can't get, 3 peak snowflake rated LT tires to be able to drive year round on them for anyone who's facing winters. So that's unfortunate. Maybe it'll come down later down the line. But I think later down the line, we're more likely actually to see a plug-in Maverick than we are an offering of, 3 Snow Peak tires. So some real year-round rated tires that are, pretty darn decent in the snow, long-lasting. What comes to mind is BF Goodrich KO2s. Love those tires. I don't think we'll see anything like that on the Maverick. So one model of tire, it's a summer tire. Now, the bed divider kit. A lot of people in my previous video were saying, hey, you need that bed divider kit. You forgot to say people should get it. I'd say don't get the bed divider kit. Any of the options outside of the main packages, I think have a good chance of slowing down and, really pushing back the rival of your Maverick. We've been seeing this now for pretty much a year. And it's been going on with other models. It's a really serious issue with the Bronco. So, demand versus supply. This thing is going to be a pretty hot item. The Maverick, looks like people are pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be a great, amazing little truck. I wouldn't be getting one otherwise. And I say getting one. I just plan on winning the bet. So, sorry, Marie-Pierre. I think we're going to win this bet. I definitely think that we'll get to 2,000 subscribers before your Escape comes in. So, help me out, help us out, help me win the bet. Just like and subscribe because it'll help me win that bet, and I'd really appreciate it. Now, continuing on, some of those options you can add, bed divider kit, toolbox, swing case. All of this, you can add once your Maverick comes in, or even before. As soon as you put in your Maverick order, try to order this at the parts department. They might tell you it's not yet available. If so, try again a month later. But when you add it to your Maverick, all of these run a high risk of delaying your Maverick order. But officially, the only thing that's going to be holding back your Maverick right now, and definitely holding back your Maverick, is the moonroof. And it's too bad because the moonroof is if I recall, $750. So it's, the best price I could ever imagine for a moonroof. But we got to do what we got to do, and we got to deal with what we got to deal with. There's no point in whining and complaining. We just need to find solutions to the problems. And that's, the whole point of this channel is I try to see what the problems are, find the solutions. I want to be as helpful as possible. And we really do need to order up our Mavericks as soon as possible, because with them having already announced to have been, over 80,000 reservations, those reservation holders are going to be turning those reservations into orders, I would think, relatively quickly. And hey, the plant in Mexico, what can they build? So far, it looks like they can build about 25,000 units per month. But those 25,000 units include all Bronco Sport models, all hybrid Escapes, and so far hybrid Escapes, not the plug-in, but just the standard hybrid, are made at the Mexican plant, and Mavericks. So they've got 3 high volume models all being produced at the Mexico, assembled at the Mexico plant. A lot of people have problems with this. They say, oh, it's a Mexican truck. It's assembled in Mexico. The parts are coming from all over. Some parts are coming from Canada. A lot of parts are coming from the US. It's assembled in Mexico. And well, some people would rather just say, oh, well, I don't want to buy a Mexican truck. And then they'll go and buy the new Hyundai truck, mini truck. So I find it's odd. I don't always understand people, but I personally think this truck's going to be good. The hybrid system has already proven itself to be reliable in the Escape. It's based on technology that's been sitting in the Fusion since 2013. And even in 2013, what was in the Fusion had research and development into it. You know, Ford used to work on this hybrid technology with Toyota. It's not by coincidence that the transmission on the Escape and the Maverick is very similar to what Toyota has. People keep saying, oh, it's a CVT. CVTs are horrible. Yeah, I agree. I don't like CVTs. I don't like when you go up a hill, you're at 4,000 RPM. I don't like how CVT transmissions cause the vehicles to be really noisy. But this isn't a CVT. It's not belt driven, it's mechanical. It's an e-CVT. And as an e-CVT, it's mechanical. So I actually love how the Ford Escape hybrid drives. Same powertrain, 99.9%, the same powertrain as what you're gonna get in the Maverick. I've had one for, I think it was a week and a half, 2 weeks in 2020. This year, I did a good test drive of one. I've got a video out for that because it is an excellent representation of what we're gonna get out of the Maverick, and I loved it. And it's not just me. I have talked to other people who have them. I talked to one employee actually at my local dealership that all he does all day long is shuttle people using that Escape. And he also loves that powertrain. And what's neat is he has a Bronco Sport. He also has a V8 5-liter Mustang. So he kind of has the same background as me. He used to be the sales director there. And he's kind of doing this as a retirement job to keep himself busy. So he used to switch vehicles basically every 3 months. He's driven so many vehicles, and he was able to say, I love the hybrid Escape. So I think a lot of you are going to love the hybrid Maverick. So back to the options, no matter what option you get, you risk causing yourself some trouble when you get it from factory. So, you know, the tonneau pickup box cover for $560 or the $280 toolbox swing case, get those at the parts department. They're gonna cost basically the same amount. The only difference is you're gonna be paying for installation. So what's half an hour of installation to pay for? Tonneau pickup box cover for $1,160. Again, parts department. Now, this kind of is odd, but I have a feeling that the plastic bed liners are even going to be causing delays on this because you look at the Bronco situation, and the Webasto factory had a lot of trouble because they just didn't have enough plastic coming to their factory to even build the hard tops. Even if they could produce enough hard tops for the Bronco, they didn't have enough plastic. So I'm thinking plastic bed liners, don't get them from factory, get them from the parts department. In worst case scenario, what's the big deal if you have to drive without a bed liner for 2-3 weeks? At least you'll have your Maverick. Now that spray-in bed liner, it's $495 if you don't get the luxury package. The luxury package is $2,395. So I think this is just, the beginning. You're probably with me in starting to see that it's worth getting that luxury package because yes, you could add heated seats to your Maverick once it arrives. But at least in Canadian, it's $350 per seat. So right there, you had $700. I'm sure in the US, the cost for putting in heated seats is a little less. Maybe it's $450, $500. But if you add a hitch, you add your spray-in bed liner, and if you're gonna add heated seats anyways, you're almost gonna be at the price of the luxury package. Ford really made the luxury package at an incredibly great price. I'm surprised and I'm quite pleased. Now, one option I would definitely get from factory, just from cost perspective, and this all depends on whether you're willing to wait for your Maverick or not, because with Broncos, hitches have definitely caused delays. But with the Maverick, the hitch is only $100. So if you're not getting the luxury package and you're just adding on a hitch, it's $100. That's next to nothing. Now your hybrid will pull 2,000 pounds. And if you want a 2-liter Maverick, a 2-liter turbo, which has been in Fusion since 2013, it's been in Escape since 2013. It's now currently used on Escapes, Edges, Lincoln Corsairs, Lincoln Nautiluses. It's a fantastic, reliable engine, and it's got a lot of power. It has no turbo lag. I absolutely love the 2-liter. I'm a performance guy. I find it quite fun to drive. Now, your 2-liter, if you do want to pull 4,000 pounds, don't forget you need the 4K trailer hitch. But just the regular trailer hitch to pull 2,000 pounds is only $100. If you add that after the fact, once your Maverick shows up, you're going to be running wiring from the computer under all those carpets to the back hitch, because a Ford dealership will not just splice into the rear lights. So instead of an hour installation, stealing electricity from those rear lights, it's going to be about a 5-hour installation. And as a 5-hour installation, this kit's going to end up costing you about $700 after the fact. Now, if you bring it to, a local mod shop, it's probably going to cost you easily half that. But if your backlight ever burns out, it's not going to be covered under warranty. And I'd say chances are decent that it'll burn out. So get the hitch from factory, $400. If you're willing to accept that, this very well might cause you some delays. Now, the full-size spare, it's $115. That's nothing, but hey, Ford gives you 5 years of roadside assistance. Changing the tire on the side of a highway can be dangerous. Someone can, not be paying attention and come hit you. Another reason why Ford Copilot 360 is kind of, a great option. Vehicles are going to be becoming safer as humans, we become worse drivers because so many drivers are now distracted by their cell phone. So on a side note, put your cell phones down. Don't hit that person changing their darn tire on the side of the road. And if you have a Ford, well, use the roadside assistance. Ford will send you a towing at no charge and will take care of you and your vehicle. Bed crossbars for $800. I'd say this is almost definitive that this will hold back your vehicle. I'm just waiting for it to pop up on a list saying, encourage people not to take those bed crossbars, because I think a lot of people are going to be asking for them, and I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have enough supply, but I'll keep you informed of that. Just keeping everything moving along. We're going to skip through all those other little options. I'll let them just scroll down on the side. Now recall, you are getting a nice 8-inch screen with this vehicle, and next year I don't expect that they're going to throw in a 10-inch screen. There's a little cubby hole for putting I don't know what in there. Will that fill up with time? I'd say probably Gen 2, so 5 years from now. And within 5 years, I think it's going to be before that we get an all-wheel drive standard hybrid, so an FHEV, and the PHEV, which is a plug-in hybrid. I think a plug-in hybrid is either going to come in 3 years, so year 3, or maybe it'll come with Gen 2. Just keep in mind, all of this seems quite possible because there's actually space in the flooring to add an extra battery. Now, currently that battery that's in there, it's like the battery on the Escape. It's a 1.1 kilowatt. So even if you add another battery, it's not gonna be all that beastly. You need to get up to about, for plug-in, you need to get to 14.4 kilowatts. That's what's in the plug-in Escape. But what's really neat is down the road, owning a hybrid now, I'm really hoping that the company called Graphene Manufacturing, now they're the company that I've mentioned in other videos before, that with Queensland University in Australia, they've developed a battery that charges an iPhone 10 60 times faster. So it takes 10 seconds to fully charge an iPhone 10. Now that technology is aluminum ion. They take graphene, they puncture extremely small holes, and they, ensure that the aluminum is in those holes. And this is technology that they want to make available for the automobile world. They say, Graphene Manufacturing, by 2025. Now I hope one day we can just buy an aluminum ion graphene battery, swap out that 1.1 kilowatt battery, and you can imagine if it charges 60 times faster and the battery lasts 4 times longer, well, I could assume that you could almost have a fully electric vehicle with an aluminum ion battery. So let's hope that the future does bring us replacement batteries for these standard hybrids, because we might get some amazing mileage out of it. Now, enough about hybrids. I'll mention the hybrid. For some of you, you're gonna remove the option rate off because it only comes front wheel drive. Your 2-liter turbo is the one that you can have all wheel drive. And what's really cool is Ford's not gonna bleed you when it comes to that. Now, the price for going to a 2-liter EcoBoost front wheel drive, if you're just all about power, it's about $1,035. Now, if you want to go to the all-wheel drive, this is how much it's going to cost. Okay, so adding 2-liter turbo and all-wheel drive does add $2,200 to your bill. And sorry, to be really precise, it's $2,220 USD, adding all-wheel drive and a fantastic motor when it comes to performance, and now that everything's worked out with the engine, reliability. So you've got a great powertrain option right there. But what other options might you want to consider? Well, of course, this would make a price of $23,365. I'd say you're probably going to be considering either the luxury package, so adding another $2,395, or the FX.com website. Good news, it's $800 for the FX4 package. That's an incredible price considering what it gives you. So for $800, what are you getting with your FX4 off-road package? Well, you're getting 17-inch unique aluminum wheels. Who cares? The regular XLT wheels are already amazing. So I don't think that's going to be a major deciding factor, but they are black, they're shiny, they look good. You're getting AT tires, so that's really cool, all-terrain tires. You're getting a 6.5-inch productivity screen in the instrument cluster. So don't get confused. That's not the screen that's in between on the dash, in between the driver and the passenger. What that is it's the screen behind your steering wheel. So you're just getting a nicer screen. You're getting a digital screen, we could say, 6.5 inches behind the steering wheel. You're getting exposed front tow hooks. That's gonna be pretty useful if you're ever in the ditch because of snow. If you're stuck in the mud, you'll love those. You're getting an FX4 off-road box decal. Big whoop, but they put it there. At least they're being pretty descriptive. You're getting hill descent control. Now, hill descent control, you might actually use. What it does is, it's always a button on the dash at Ford, and you hit that button, and the transmission is gonna work at maintaining your speed. So you'll use the brakes less. It's all about not risking overheating your brakes or just excessively using your brakes. So that's pretty cool. Carrying on, you're gonna get select drive modes: sand, mud, and ruts mode. So that's starting to sound a little bit like GOAT modes. You're also getting skid plates. Skid plates are gonna be protecting, for example, your oil pan. So that's all about not breaking anything underneath the vehicle, such as the oil pan, when you're going up against rocks or stumps. Now, it's all about slowly going up against those things. You can't just expect to have your skid plates save you because you hit a rock at 50 miles per hour. However, I can say that Mary Pierre this winter with my F-150 did drive over, unfortunately, a little bit of roadkill, and it was a deer. And the skid plates completely protected everything underneath the truck. I never smashed up and broke the oil pan. Everything was A-okay. Now, continuing on, the trailer hitch receiver with 4-pin connector, that also comes with the FX4 package. Keep in mind, it's not the 4K hitch. The 4K hitch adds $750. So the 4K hitch is all about pulling 4,000 pounds, and of course on the 2-liter turbo. And I'm mentioning this FX4 package, of course, because it's available on the 2-liter turbo. So now that we've picked the 2-liter turbo, we've given the price of the 2-liter turbo, the FX4 package became available. You also get a heavy-duty engine cooling fan, and you're also getting a heavy-duty radiator. So as you can see, the FX4 package really does set you up nicely for, some long, low-speed off-roading or some towing. So great options, $800. I think that's absolutely fantastic, and I strongly recommend going with either the FX4 package or the luxury package. Now, earlier on in the video, I didn't mention the 4K tow package, and I also didn't mention the FX4 package because it's just not available on the hybrid. You have to click the 2-liter hybrid, 2-liter EcoBoost engine for these options to pop up and up here. So far, I hope this is helping out. I hope you're going along and doing this as soon as this video ends. So once you've picked the FX4 package, what's pretty neat is you get 2 options of wheels. Now the second set costs $795. In my opinion, don't look as good as the standard FX4 mag. So why would you pick that $795 mag package? I guess it all comes down to subjective. If you find they're worth basically $800 and they look that much better, well, then go right ahead. But I wouldn't agree with that one. Now, one really important option to talk about is the manual rear sliding window, because a lot of people think that if you go with the moonroof, you absolutely have to have that manual rear sliding window, because they think you need to open up that back window when your moonroof is open to avoid basically air turbulence in the cabin, which is really annoying for your ears. But I don't think that's the case. You know, the manual rear sliding window is $155. So this is not something you can add easily after the fact. So either get it from factory for next to nothing, but don't get it because you're getting a moonroof and you think it's necessary. When you have a moonroof, all you have to do is crack your back windows, and in cracking open your back windows 1 or 2 inches, you won't have any air turbulence because the air will come in through the roof and go out your back windows. So you don't need that manual rear sliding window. But if you like having one because you're thinking it might be useful for, you know, carrying wood and putting the wood through there, whatever it may be, that is dirt cheap and unbeatable. You look at F-150s, and for the rear sliding window, you can't have it on an XLT 300. So for many years, people were jumping up to the 302 XLT, and in some cases, just for that rear window. So it's really cool that they're letting us build the Maverick how we want it, and Ford isn't, you know, basically bleeding us for, you know, a huge package that costs a lot for what may be only 1 or 2 options. Basically, everything is customizable. I think they've done a great job, and I really enjoy the Maverick for this reason. For this reason, it's one of the reasons why I think this is a great product that's going to make a lot of people pretty happy. I do predict a huge cult following on this, and I think that resale values are going to be great, which is part of the reason why I talked to Mary Pierre about the Maverick. We like to switch vehicles, and I'm sure after a year, max 2 years, we're going to be in a decent position to swap the vehicle. And by decent position, I mean what it's worth is going to be very similar to what we owe. Now, if you do go with the 2-liter turbo and you add all-wheel drive and you add the FX4 package, you can expect to have a price of $28,675. Now, if you remove the FX4 package at $800 and add the luxury package at $2,395, well, then that's a difference of about $1,500 more. So instead of $28,675, you're basically going to be in the low, well, $30,000, a few $100s. So there's your build-in price. Those are your options. I really hope this video has been helpful and useful. If so, please help me out by liking and subscribing. I greatly appreciate it. I want to win this bet. I want a Maverick in my yard. I think the plug-in Escape is cool, but I just love the practicality, of having a box. I've always had a pickup in the yard, basically, and at one point it was even an F100 with a real wooden box, and even then, even though it was really a showpiece, I still used the box. So I need a box. Help me out here. Now, in the meantime, I hope you get to put the pedal to the metal this week, and I wish you all more cars and more power. And those of you helping out in the comments section, thank you very much. You can ask questions. I do my absolute best to get back to everyone. And for those that answer some of the questions and add in helpful and useful information, thank you so very much. Now, until next time, take care.